Hello, and welcome to the Arcane Corner. I am Respen, humble shopkeep, curator of magic, craft, and all things in between. Today, I have a wondrous item just for you, Theomane's Continuous Candle. This candle has a continuous flame that bears no heat and burns no oxygen. Perfect for all adventuring, tabletop or otherwise.
From kobold-sized tea lights to candles big enough for a banquet of beholders. Here's an example of how these candles can add ambiance to a dungeoning experience. But if you haven't been tossed enough coin to purchase them, here's how you can create your own. So the first thing you'll need is a hot glue gun. This is the main tool we'll be using for this craft, as well as a full bag of hot glue sticks. Today I'm using LED candles from the dollar store. You can find these at any sort of dollar store in your local area. You'll also need batteries for these said candles. Also, some glass candle holders for the taller candles. For this craft, I also used spray paint and acrylic paint. You'll also need some parchment paper to stop the glue from sticking to any surface that you'll be gluing on. Alright, so to get this started, I put my parchment paper down and one of the smaller tea light candles. My hot glue gun is hot and ready to go, and I'm going to just start gluing around the edges of the candle away from where the wick is. You can see I am turning the parchment paper as I'm gluing so I can easily let the glue drip onto the parchment paper to create that dripped wax feeling. After I let the glue dry and set, I add another layer to look as if the candle has been burned multiple times. You can do a similar technique on the taller, thinner candles. I would just be careful because you do have to hold the base of the candle while you are gluing, though the glue does not drip all the way to the bottom. This is a more simplistic style of wax dripping that I've done. There's other more like drippy styles that you can do. It's up to you for the flavor. You can see I have spray painted the glass candle holders into a nice antique gold color, which I kind of like for an old world fantasy aesthetic. I have also placed a more drippy style candle into this one, and so I will be continuing the very drippy wax onto the base of the candle holder as well. You can either go for a thicker wax texture or a thinner wax. So when you're holding the candle holder, be sure to hold it at an angle so that it doesn't drip onto your hand or straight onto the workspace you have. So after your glue has cooled and set, you are going to paint it. I like to use a mixture of a light brown and a white to get this kind of vintagey wax color. I might put in a little bit of yellow. It's up to you for the flavor of what kind of candle color you want. This one kind of just looks like it's been in the library for a really long time. So what I do is I mix a large batch of paint together and start painting only the glue if it's on the candlestick, and then the entire candle just with a coat of paint. So it took me about 3 to 4 coats of the acrylic paint to get to an opacity that I wanted when it came to painting the hot glue and the candles themselves. So depending on the color of paint you choose to do, it may take fewer or more coats to get the color you want. Next, I wanted to do a little bit of shading on the wax on the candles that I had, so I took a darker color of the colors I had been using for the base coat and did a sort of dry brush technique around the divots and beneath the drips of each part of the candle wax. I also did this technique on the candle holder as well. I also did a similar dry brushing technique on the candle holder itself. So here are some other candles that I had actually found in the clearance section of a Joann's crafting store. This just shows you that you can use the glue technique that I started earlier on any LED candle that you can find, whatever is within your budget. I hope you all enjoy today's craft. I love making aesthetic items for my tabletop games and just for the Arcane Corner in my own home. If you end up making something for your little Arcane Corner, feel free to tag the Arcane Corner. I would love to see what you all create.
Thank you so much for stopping by my little shop today. Feel free to come back for all of your dungeoning desires. And don't forget to like, component, and subscribe.